Hello beautiful and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to this video. We are going to talk about this one, the Naked Cyber by Urban Decay. I was able to get a hold of this. It had an early release here in Europe, so I was able to get a hold of this. So we are going to do swatches. I am going to try it out on my eyes, and I want to see, because I've seen some good swatches of it coming from like people who got it in PR. I bought it myself, and I've seen some bad swatches, and I am intrigued, and I'm a curious person, and I'm curious. Is this any good? Is this like duochrome goodness, like almost like indie makeup, or is this just a snooze fest? I need to know. And now you're gonna be able to know as well. And if you haven't been here before, hello, my name is Angie. I'm such a lover of everything beauty and makeup. Love trying out makeup, love finding all the new favorites, especially love playing with color, which is not necessarily what this is, but we'll try and make it as dramatic as possible. And if you wanna see more of that, don't forget to subscribe because I upload 5 videos a week. I just picked this up from the post office. This did release early in Europe. I bought it at Zalando. I do know that it's available at Kicks as well, like Swedish Kicks. Don't know if this is when this is going up, if this is available in the US, but I will link where I can find it down below. Some of my links might be affiliated, and if you do shop through my links, thank you so much for supporting this channel. It is because of people like you that I'm able to get videos like this up early, because I'm able to pay for express shipping so that I can help you in your purchasing decisions. Because I don't want you to buy crap. I only want you to get the things that are truly good for you, the goodies. So we're gonna try it out. First, let me tell you, the packaging is so pretty. It comes in a box like this. The box is really pretty as well. It has the shades on the back, and the shades on the back look promising. I've looked inside this palette as well. I'm going to show you close-ups in a little bit. I don't like this. This like almost white plastic looks extremely cheapy. So I wish that this felt like the outside looks so great. It looks so great, but then on the inside it looks extremely cheap, and it kind of was the same with the Wild West as well. The Naked Wild West, was that even the name? I like that palette, and this is the thing with Urban Decay, and this is why I was curious. I saw some good swatches and I saw some bad swatches, and I'm not saying the people did good or bad swatches. I'm just saying that this person made the palette look good and this person made the palette look bad, or maybe this person made it look better than it actually is, and this was showing us the truth. Either way, we are gonna find out today. Like I said, the palette looks stunning. The packaging, everything looks really beautiful. I can totally see that there are like shifts and sparkles to these shades, and I'm gonna show you some swatches here, but as I'm filming this, I have not swatched this. I haven't touched this at all. I kind of like doing my first impressions going in blind, not knowing at all, but at the end of the video, when I put some of these on my eyes, I will come back and I will like chat a little bit about my experience and how I feel about them now that I've tried them out and when I'm swatching them. So I am super intrigued to be digging into this, because how I feel about Urban Decay is that sometimes they do really nice palettes. I really like the Wild West. I didn't love the shimmers. I thought the shimmers needed a little sprucing up, but I really like the mattes, and the Stoned Vibes was a really good palette. That one was really nice. There was only one shade in that palette where I was like, if I could choose, I would have picked something else, but one shade in the full palette, that's not bad. But then we had the Wired palette. I didn't like the Naked Ultraviolet palette, so for me, Urban Decay is a little bit hit or miss. So I'm hoping, even though I can already tell just by the color scheme it's pretty light, that it's not going to be like my favorite color scheme of all times, because I like colorful makeup and I like dramatic makeup, but that doesn't mean that I can tell bad makeup from good makeup, because that is what I do here on YouTube. I review makeup, I let you know what is good and what is bad. I have over 1,500 videos, so even though this isn't my perfect color scheme, I will still be able to tell you, is this a good palette or is this a bad palette? I think I'm going to use this brush. Like, I think maybe not this side. It's not exactly what I'm after, or maybe it's exactly what I'm after, because I brought out this one. This one is kind of the same shape, but this is harder and this is softer. So I think I might use this one. Let me see if I can just, usually my eye primer needs a little bit of love so it's not creasing. So this is what I think I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna use this one that's called Gadget, and then I'm gonna deepen it up with this one that's called Bite. And I'm gonna start with that, and then we'll decide, because there's only 1, 2, 3 mattes, and then AI, the one in the absolute beginning here. Just from looking at it in the pan, it does seem a little bit like a satin. You already know because you saw the swatches, but maybe I should touch it. No, yeah, I think it is a matte with a little bit of a sheen, which can be really pretty if you want to do it as an inner corner highlight or as a lid color. If it's like something that has a little bit of a, it's not like a dead on matte. So it has 3 mattes and 1 matte with a, not satin, but not dead on matte. And then there are shimmers and it seems to be some metallics and like duochrome. So we are just gonna try. This goes on super beautiful. Like I said, I'm gonna start with this one and then I'll deepen it up with the other one. I personally think that 2 mattes is too little for a palette, especially if you want to be like inclusive. Because for a lot of people, this matte and this matte doesn't work in the crease at all, and then it's only bite. So with that in mind, I definitely think that they could have picked at least 1 more like mid-tone or like this depth. So it doesn't have to be, because now there are 2 shadows that I can use as a transition shade. But yeah, I kind of wish that there was 1 more matte that wasn't that light, because I feel like they're painting themselves into a bit of a corner with this beige selection that they keep having. Ooh, this one picks up so beautifully. I mean, it's very popular right now with the Y2K and the super shimmery looks, and it's been a bit of a trend, at least in social media, to have all shimmer palettes as well. So I don't think that this is like totally out of touch with what's trendy right now. It's just me personally, I prefer when there's more mattes in the palette. But that's me. I like that. Angie. Angie's a matte lover. That's really pigmented. Has a little bit of fallout here, but like you saw in the beginning, I did load up my brush as well. So I mean, serves me right. I'm not gonna do something totally like advanced. I'm just gonna see like how fun this can be without like doing something super intricate. I will say that pigmented, blendable, super easy to work with. Like, I have no problems at all. I'm taking a little bit more of the gadget and I'm just blending that on the edge so we don't lose the gradient that we started out with. So it's like a brick going into a salmon. I really like that. I think I'm gonna put some of that brick under my eyes as well. And then, so many shimmers to choose from. And then we need to decide on the shimmer. I did use this small brush under my eyes. I feel like it worked pretty okay. I don't know what to use. Now I need to swatch. I need to see. Okay, so this is a plum to blue. This is a, that is like a burgundy base and has a little, not as strong duochrome as the first one, but has a little bit of like a, what is that? Like green shimmer? It's not a super strong shift, but still. That is pretty. That would be so pretty. That is like a silver with like a bit of a purple. Let me see if I can wipe this off and we can take the next one. That is more like a, it says not a bot. It's more like a silver champagne. And this call it is like a peach with a slight peach sheen to it. Okay, cyberspace. Ooh, that is, maybe this is what we're doing. It is like a brick base with a lime green shift. We might do that. And electrode, ooh, that is pretty too. That is almost like Fireball. Do you know the OG like cult classic Fireball? The peach and the gold, but this is not as pink, maybe more a peach to a gold. That is so pretty. And metadata is, this is more like a champagne. This is not as sparkly or high shine. It has a little bit of something in the sheen. It's a little bit of a difference. It's like a champagne satin with a twist. I really like both this one. Yeah, I think we're doing this one. The one that's called Cyberspace. It is this one here. It's like that orange with a green. You can see that orange to the lime green. Definitely doing that one. I did spray it though, because usually with like duochromes and stuff like that, when you spray them, they become a little bit more opaque, and they usually show like this shift better. Or applying them with your finger, that also works. Well, this is not a super sparkly or like high shine. It's more like a satin duochrome, but I still kind of like it. It is a little bit different. You can see the shift there. It's like a muted, it's like a toned down, more like, I hate the word wearable, but I do get where people come from. It's like a wearable duochrome. I feel like maybe this palette is for people that are into trying those like indie formulas or trying duochromes, but they don't want the super bright colors, they don't want to have the super obvious shifts or something that they can't wear to like the office or something. So I do understand who this palette is for, I really do. And that is really pretty and smooth on the eyes. I am going to be applying a little bit more of the, without the cat hair, a little bit more of the bite out here, just to blend this edge where they meet. But yeah, I do approve how this looks. I just prefer something that is a little bit more dramatic, but I know not everyone does. So it definitely fills a void. And I think so far that I like this palette more for what it is than I did the ultraviolet, because I didn't feel the formula was up to par in that one. I mean, this one I really do like my look. It's really pretty. Let me put something in the inner corner and then I can just finish up the look. Or maybe I'll do the electrode, which was the one that was next to it, the one that's like a peach to a gold. Maybe I'll do that on the lower lash line. This one has a little bit more of a sheen than this one. I'm doing that silvery champagne, not the bot, in my inner corner to tie these two duochromes together. Not too dramatic, just something in my inner corner. I probably could have done one of the like lighter shades at the beginning of the palette, but I kind of want to try this one. It has a little bit of an almost pinky champagne look on like the eyes. Okay, I'm gonna finish this look up. Let's finish this look up and I can just give you some final thoughts. Okay, so this is the finished look. Everything is on, and I will say I do enjoy this look a lot. Between me filming the look and sitting down here to talk to you, I did swatch this entire palette, and this is how I feel. This is how I feel. First of all, this palette is incredibly light. Everything here, like half the palette is light, like light, too light for me, and I am a light to medium. It's too light for me, because when it comes to this half of the palette, it is extremely interesting. I'm gonna be honest, this half of the palette is so interesting, and this shade here, the one that's called Static, it is so much more metallic than what I thought first when I saw it. So I would say this palette has two metallics, is this one here and this one here. Then there are a couple of shimmers, and if I'm gonna be honest, they are a little, not weak shimmers, but they're definitely not sparkly shimmers. And then we have a satin here. I wish one of these could go. One of these shadows could go, and we could have a shadow that's this depth, but just in another color, maybe a plum, maybe a army green, something that would have taken this palette to the next level. And also I kind of wish that all of the shades had this finish, like more seen. But I understand who this palette is for. This palette is for people that want to try different kind of shadows, that don't want to splurge on like indie shadows, that are just want to go to Ulta or Sephora and buy something, not have to purchase from smaller brands online. I understand. I just think that this could have been even better. This isn't a bad palette, but what you see is kind of what you're getting, and I kind of think that they could, this is an opportunity missed. If they wanted to release a palette with like iridescent shades and duochromes, this could have been an opportunity to take it to the next level. I do think that the Urban Decay mattes are really nice, especially the ones that I've been trying palettes lately, but their shimmer formula is lacking, and I feel like their shimmer formula is stuck in 2005. I feel like their shimmer formula needs to come back, like come back to the 2020s. I feel like that is the formula that needs to be elevated because it is a little bit dull, and especially when you are comparing to other shadows, even shadows, shimmer formulas less expensive than this, they are a little too dull, if I'm gonna be honest, and that's just something that I think could make them even better. The metallic formula, that beautiful like marbly formula that they had in the Stone Vibes palette, that was such a good formula, and I wish that they could like embrace that a bit more, because the palette is beautiful. The outside is more pretty than the inside. I still stand by that. The matte formula is beautiful, but they're too light. I wish one of the light shades were just, we don't need that many light shades. That many light shades isn't needed in a palette. I'm gonna be honest with you. We don't need two white shades, one matte and one like satin. It makes no sense. I guess there are people out there that want that, but there are also even more people out there that won't even use those two shades. So I think that that is an opportunity missed, and I also wish that they would elevate their shimmer formula a bit, because I feel like the shades they picked for this palette, like the orange to the green duochrome that I have here, like the copper peach pink that I have under my eyes, they picked really beautiful colors. They picked really beautiful shifts, and this palette could have been an A+ if the shimmer formula was a bit more elevated. This is a shimmer heavy palette with a kind of not mediocre but like B- shimmer formula. That is how I feel. I don't think though that this is a bad palette. I don't think that this is a horrible palette. I think a lot of people will look at this, I think a lot of people will swatch this and be like, this is exactly what I'm looking for. But if you own indie duochromes or indie iridescent shades, or if you own more extreme duochromes from other brands, and you're thinking that you want to add even more duochromes and shimmery shades to your collection, you will probably be disappointed by this. If you're expecting Divina, Cleona, anything like that in this, that is not even in the same dimension as this one. So if you already own duochrome, iridescent, sparkly, special shades, this palette isn't for you. This palette is for people who don't own shades like that and they think that those shades are either too expensive or too hard to get or maybe too extreme for their liking. So don't buy this expecting to get a palette full of special shades. That is not exactly what you're getting. All in all, I don't hate the palette, but I don't think that this is going to be in the top 10 of the best palettes of 2021. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and also check the description box for more info about everything that I've talked about in this video and all the things that are on my face. And I will see you again tomorrow for a new video. Bye!